Hello, everyone. It's me, Cheryl Couture, and I just want to give you all a brief little update on our hair. Now, a lot of people purchase hair from us, and we get emails about, how to maintain the hair, if they're doing something wrong or whatever. I try to tell people all the time the easiest hair to purchase and maintain is our Filipino hair. You really don't have to do anything, just buy it. I tell people to purchase Aussie Moist shampoo, conditioner to keep the hair hydrated. We prefer that for all of our hair. It's in a purple bottle, Aussie Moist, real simple. They have 3-Minute Miracle Conditioner. They have their Moist Conditioner, but we use a Moist product, a Moist shampoo, Moist Conditioner, 3-Minute Miracle Conditioner. When you purchase hair from us or anybody, you have to make sure that you know how to maintain that hair. Sometimes if you use harsh chemicals, like a harsh shampoo or whatever, it'll strip all the moisture out of the hair. It'll strip the cuticles. The hair will never be the same. Okay, so we want you to make sure that you invest in products when you invest in hair. The other thing is if you, the way that you shampoo the hair. Most people, when you get bundles or whatever, a lot of people like to shampoo beforehand, before they get it installed or whatever. And that's fine, nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that when you shampoo the hair, that you're keeping it in one direction. You don't want to just, when you're shampooing the hair, all the friction, you're popping cuticles, all that stuff, it's not good for the hair. So, like I said, this is with anybody hair. You always want to do one direction. Not up and down, but just, if you have the hair, you wet it, put the shampoo on it, one direction. I usually use a wet brush and brush the hair in one direction. Rinse it, put your conditioner on it, brush that in one direction. Let it sit for a few minutes, then go ahead and rinse it out, let it air dry, or throw it in the dryer, a hair dryer. But that has a lot to do with it. Another thing, this goes with anybody's hair. If you cut the wefts on the hair will shed because now you are compromising the reinforcement of the hair being on one single weft without it being cut. So as soon as you start to cut wefts and stuff like that, it will shed. I don't care if you're making a custom unit, if you're putting the hair in on your braids, installing it on your braids, it doesn't matter. It's going to shed. Our Filipino hair is our number one hair. The hair barely sheds or anything like that. But if I get somebody who has a complaint like, oh, the hair is shedding, first thing I ask them, well, did you cut the wefts with the install or when you was customizing your unit? If they say yes, that's the reason why. Because once you cut the weft, once one part is cut, it starts to unravel. You know what I mean? It's not going to unravel through the whole weft, but it starts to unravel. So those pieces of hairs that's coming out in the part that's unraveled, those are the hairs that's shedding. And what happens is, since those hairs are now, say the weft was like this, those hairs shed or whatever, so now it's like this. So all the hair in the rest of the weft, it has more room to disconnect from the structure of the actual weft. So now you have a shedding issue. I mean, it ain't end of the world. It's not going to shed forever, but it'll stop after a while, but you're still going to get some hairs. Another thing, lace frontals. With lace frontals, you have to be careful. You don't want to brush your frontals like with a boar bristle brush. What happens is it'll make the lace bald, So I have people like, oh yeah, my lace is balding. And I'm like, what are you doing to the actual lace? Because the lace is not just going to bald. That's not what happens. You have to manipulate the lace in order for it to start balding. So I usually tell people, once again, wet your lace. I say this all the time, wet your lace, then manipulate it. Straight hair, curly hair, doesn't matter. Wet it first, then manipulate it because it gives the hair more elasticity. It's not going to be popping. You ain't going to be snatching it out. You know what I'm saying? Do not use a boar bristle brush. You can use a wet brush. You can use a wide tooth comb. You can use a small tooth comb once everything is detangled. But do not use a boar bristle brush with your lace frontal, period. When you use adhesives on your frontal, make sure you keep it more so on the lace and not in the hair. Once the adhesive get into the hair, guess what's going to happen? If you try to pull one little piece of adhesive off, it's connected to 3 or 4 hairs. Boom, now you got like a little bald spot or a little patch when you shake the adhesive off. So make sure that You're not brushing it with a board bristle brush. Make sure that the adhesive is not getting onto the hair and it's just on the lace. And make sure that you wet your lace before you manipulate it. Just that simple. This unit I've had October of last year. I made this unit October of last year. And I don't want to, it's tacked down, but it ain't tacked down. But I don't have like balding issues with it because once again, I don't manipulate it too much. And when I do, it's always wet when I go to brushing it and stuff like that. So your frontals can last a long time if you know how to take care of it. What else? I'm trying to think of the questions and stuff that we get in our email. All of our hair, as far as textures, if it's Indian hair, it's Indian hair. It comes from India. If it is, all of our hair is not, we don't process any of our hair. The reason why is because we was going with companies that did chemical processes to hair. And what happened is it dries out so freaking fast. So once we realized that, we was just like, okay, this was a couple years ago. So once we realized, okay, the chemical process is drying out the hair and shortening the lifespan of the hair, we went to steam processing. Steam processing, we love it. The only thing about it is sometimes that the curls this is only in curly hair and in like body wave hair. It'll drop, because once again, it's not a permanent process. It's not like they're putting chemicals on it to treat it permanently and permanently manipulate the hair shaft. So just because the steam process, if they don't steam it long enough, the curls will drop. So once you wash your hair or whatever like that, it'll go from a nice, ringlet or whatever into it'll have a straight end, or the curl to turn into a wave or something like that. But since we told them about that, now they steam process the hair longer. So even if we do a coloring treatment, or if we bleach the hair, or anything like that, it still has the integrity of the curl pattern. So, but all of our hair, that's the only kind of process we do to the hair, steam process. We don't use any chemicals or anything like that. Our hair, whatever we say it is, except the mink Brazilian, it comes from that region. So Filipino hair come from the Philippines, Indian hair come from India, and our mink Brazilian hair actually come from Vietnam. And yes, I'm going to say it because it's not coming from Brazil. It's Vietnamese hair, but because of the way it looks and it's shiny and it's soft and everything, that's the only reason why we call it mink Brazilian. Plus, it's a name that everybody knows, so everybody comes up and get mink Brazilian hair, but it's actually Vietnamese hair. I love Asian hair. I really do. It lasts longer. It looks better. It feels better. And it gives you longevity. So that's the reason why we invest more so in Asian hair. Even with our Indian hair, we do get really good prices on Indian hair, and it is a good quality. But at the same time, it's really, really fine hair. So you get a lot of flyaways, you get short hairs and stuff like that with Indian hair. It's beautiful, but I'd rather stick with my Asian hair. That's just me in particular. And I'm trying to get everybody else to love Asian hair like I do, because it's a good investment. I don't know of anything else, but I was just trying to give you all a little brief video on how to take care of your hair. Definitely air drying is more beneficial than using a blow dryer. Hot tools are okay. You can curl it however you want to. I do tell people to use flexi rods a lot. So use your flexi rods instead of hot tools to make the hair last longer. Listen, this hair, Filipino hair, can last you forever. Literally. The Vietnamese hair or the mink Brazilian hair or whatever, that hair will last you, guaranteed it'll last you 3 to 5 years. And the only reason why I say that is because the weft construction isn't as sturdy as the Filipino weft construction. The weft construction on the Vietnamese hair is just like, the regular Brazilian weft construction, just a single weft. But the Filipino hair, it's a single weft, but it is reinforced. It's a reinforced single weft. So instead of it being a double weft and being real, real thick, it's a single weft that's sewn over more than once. Instead of just being folded in one time, it's folded in and then folded again and then sewn. So that's why the Filipino hair will last a very long time unless you start cutting the wefts. Then it might not last as long. But Vietnamese hair, A1. Indian hair, A1. And Indian hair and Vietnamese hair is constructed the same way, single weft. That's it. Then we have like our Peruvian hair, and our Peruvian hair is the hair that we get from China. It's not going to give you a long lifespan. It's not. You proving hair between 6 to 12 months, if even that. And that's why it's the cheapest hair on our site, because the quality isn't up to par like it would be with our other hair, Filipino, Vietnamese, and all that. So I hope this video helped y'all. And I was trying not to ramble. And I know I'm very monotone. I'm not, hey guys, how you doing? I'm not that person. But I am here to educate you in your investment. So look us up, cciboutique.com, and give us a try.